All right, guys, out here at my original home lake. If any of you that want to come out to old Lake Houston, this is BJ's Marina, and they usually stay stocked up with minnows. For any of you minnow fishermen, they do have jigs. I think it got some custom hand ties in there too, but good place to come. They got a boat ramp right here, and if you guys come out, I'm gonna show you how you get out of here, because there's like a shallow flat out in front of the ramp. And today we're gonna be spider rigging. Just to give you a heads up, we'll be doing some spider rigging, and I'm gonna show you guys the technique that I use. It's getting to be that time to where the water's cooling down. I'll show you some tips here in a minute to help you get on some quality fish. Let's do this. All right, guys, you got the ramp right here. So what you got to do is follow this bulkhead all the way around. Once you make this corner over here, and it's fairly shallow here, especially with the lake being down right now, just follow this bulkhead all the way around. As you can see, we're in 4 foot of water, but you can idle through this fairly easy. But you want to stay close to the bulkhead, and you can see that island right there. And once you come up to this point right here, got a marker buoy right here. It's safe to go either side, but if you go to the outside of it, be sure to stay close. Once you clear this point, you'll see another bulkhead, and this is a no-wake zone. Respect the homeowners when you come through here. I mean, they're having trouble already with the floods that we're having with their bulkheads. And there's the other marker. You want to stay to the inside of it. So you can either go left to go to the main lake, or you can go right and go up the East Fork. I will say this, I know a lot of people know about the storm Harvey. These docks here, they were still standing after Harvey, but when Imelda hit, the little small storm that nobody think did damage, Imelda did quite a bit of damage on this lake, especially with the sand. There are sandbars, several sandbars that's been moved. So when you come out, if you haven't been out in a while, be sure to idle, make a track idling before you go ripping and running. And it's like I say all the time, just because you see water, that don't mean that it's safe to run through it. So here's that second buoy I was telling you about. It's like I say, this is a no-wake zone. So, but once you clear this, you'll see that the depth starts to drop off into the river. So there you go, 10 foot, safe to go either way. All right, let's get to the fishing spot. All right, guys, I'm quite sure my lens is spotted up right now, but we're going to show you guys something. Now, water temp's only 58, but what we're gonna do, and we can see fish starting there already on the SI. Let me go to the 2D, and that's what you want to see. That's the stuff you want to see. For some reason, I can't tell you what it is. The fish are holding over some very deep water. I sort of took a break from recording, and I've made 3 trips out here. You know, I've always said the deepest that I've caught crappie on these lakes down here is 15 feet. Well, now I've had to boost that up, because I'm catching them 25, 26, 27, 28 feet deep, mostly at 25. But like I've been saying, guys, regardless of what you hear, regardless of what you think, trust in these units. These units will show you where the fish are, how deep they are. Even 2D, you'll see here in a minute, we're going to be dropping off into 34 feet of water. Watch what this screen does, if they are still here. And this area here has been, I mean, completely stacked with boats. All right, just starting to drop off now. If you can see that, at 18 feet, water temps at 58, which in my opinion is not deep enough to drive fish deep. But for some strange reason, these fish, I can't tell you why, but it's like I said, I mean, you can start seeing them on SI here. I may need to increase my 2D my 2D sensitivity, as it's not showing. It's starting to now. And it's like I say, I'm quite sure my lens is real misty, foggy morning. So, but look at how these fish are hugging the bottom here. And we're in 30 feet of water right now. Look at what we're seeing now. And you 2D guys, this is what I tell you. Trust that 2D also. Look at the amount of fish that's here. So and there's your full screen 2D for you 2D guys. Around 25 foot, like I was saying. The fish have just been stacked. Even though I say that the fish are in 30 feet of water, what I've been doing is, and like I've said before, the bottom contours is structure also. So what I've been doing is playing these bottom contours as structure. We're gonna get over here on this ledge that I've been doing pretty good on. And there you go, 27. Look at the fish here. And I will say this, guys, suspended fish are very hard to catch. So the fish that I've been targeting is what's down here. These fish are down there feeding. So let me deploy the old Terra. You want to be watching it. This 2D is a very important tool. These are the fish that I'm going to target right here. These fish down here along the bottom. These are the ones. See, these suspended fish, I see a lot of guys want to fish, you know, these suspended fish. Those are the hardest to catch. These fish along the bottom right here, these are the ones that will take a jig. Anyway, let me get set up. Let me shut up and put some fish in the boat so I can show you what I'm telling you works. I'm gonna try to keep this lens clean for you guys. Hopefully it'll work. I do have a couple videos that misty, foggy conditions got me fogged up, but still got some nice catches, and I think I'm gonna post them. So what I've been running, guys, is a tandem. This wind seems like it's gonna be an issue today. So what I've been running is a tandem setup, and if you haven't seen how I tie my braid to my leader, I'll put up a link of how I tie that. And this is just simply, the top jig is simply on a simple double overhand knot. I know you've been on them. Don't lie to me this go around.
I ain't been fishing at all hardly.
Really?
I ain't been catching nothing when I do.
Come on, man.
I come out the other day, I didn't have not one bite.
Well, I don't know where you're going, but the fish stacked up in here.
That's what I figured.
So guys, what I'm doing is just dropping that tandem down, dropping it to the bottom, coming up about 2 cranks. Now I will tell you this, you have to pay very, very close attention to your rod tip, because these fish are, and it's like I've been saying for the past 4 or 5 months, there's just so much bait in these lakes that, but guys, like I was saying, tandem, and you see I got varying colors on here. Color hadn't seemed to matter here my last few trips. Like I say all the time, color matters when it matters. Right now, a lot. That's where I've been. Right now, it's not. It don't matter a whole bunch. So I prefer 12-foot rods when I'm doing this. It's like I say all the time. You don't need all that luxury equipment that you see a lot of the guys with to do this. Maybe in shallow water, those 14 and 16, 20-foot rods might help. 24 footers, 30 footers, whatever they use. I'm just exaggerating, having a little fun, you guys. But drop these things down there to the bottom. What you're gonna do is try to determine the depth that the fish are preferring. And where I've been having my best luck is anywhere between 25 and 28. Once I catch a fish, I'll try to stick with that depth. So right now I'm in 27. I got my poles about, I'm gonna double check them here. I think they're about a foot off the bottom, and that's what's been working for me. about a foot off the bottom. As like I say, we're targeting those fish that are on the bottom. And just so you know, even though we're picking the fish up that's on the bottom, they're not going to have any of that Wally Marshall mud on the bottom of them. As you can see on the remote, we're at 0.1, 0.2. We want to stick him anywhere between 0.2 and 0.4 on our speed. This wind is going to be a hindrance today. A lot better conditions the other days I was here. Well, just missed one. I mean, if you're not paying very close attention to those rod tips, the fish are not aggressive, so you have to pay very close attention to your rod tips. Checking my depth. Alright, that's bottom. Couple cranks. I want to keep them fairly close to the bottom. Any of you that don't have those expensive spider rig setups, I've been fishing spider rigging on this boat like this for several years, and a lot of times I catch those big old cats and bass and you name it. We're not looking for a bite to yank the rod in the water, although you have to be paying attention to that. And I get questioned a lot, rod yanked in the water, and the answer is no, I haven't. But there's always a possibility. But with me sitting right here, it takes quite a bit of force on a crappie rod, 12-foot crappie rod, to, it has to be folded way down there before it's slipping the water. What we're looking for is that tip action. Uh-oh, first fish, you guys. And like I've been saying, a lot of people ask me, why don't I, it's just a little guy, why don't I reel up? Hell, it's because when I catch a fish, that means I'm at the right depth. So right then we're over 28 feet of water, even though this is not the fish that we want to catch. It was just a dink. Why didn't you show it? Because it was a dink. And right there, guys, you can see how that depth is dropping off. We're just in 28, and just that quick we're over 32 feet of water. So as like I say, y'all, the contour, bottom contour can be played as structure also. So, and that's what I've been doing. It's been working out pretty good for me. And I got two of my Denali's 12-footers in the boat, and since I haven't gotten more of the 12-footers, I got two of my old B&Ms in the boat, and you guys can see that friction down there on the bottom, on the top section of that fish finder right there. That's what you want to see. Because like I say, these are the core birds, and they don't have that target separation that the newer units have. From what I've seen and what I've seen over the years, that friction that you see right there is fish. And that's a little one. And look like he does. And for some strange reason, I don't know what it is, these little fish love running into your other line. If you catch a big fish, you don't too much have to worry about it. And let me tell you, this is the worst thing to happen with braid. Little old bitty dink. And he has me all balled up pretty nasty. Hopefully I can get this out without a lot of time. And I will tell you guys, there's another good thing about this Berkley fire line. I got to pay for my line just like everybody else, and it's like I say all the time, if it's good, it's good. And this Berkley fire line is pretty daggone good. I commend them every chance I get. Spider rigging, vertical jigging, it's a great line. Tell me what other braid would be balled up like that and come apart that easy. I don't think you can name one. But just like fishing brush piles, we have to match the depth of water to the depth we're running our jigs in. And that does take a little time. So don't come out and drop your jigs down there and give up quickly, because you'll be missing out. Now, there we go. Like a little better fish, but not much. Hopefully he don't get me tangled. Nope, he didn't get me tangled up. And then just another little small dink. It seems like they're preferring that old bright jig, but It's like I say, these are dinks. I'm not going to judge anything until we little dink. And there are plenty of those in here. I mean plenty. Yes, it's a hassle not reeling this line up, but it's like I said, when I find the depth, I don't want to play the guessing game getting back to that depth. So I'll deal with fighting with that line because it helps bring my next fish. As you can see, guys, I'm going over 31 feet of water. All I'm doing is playing this contour right here. I just have to put that work in to determine where the fish are staged and what they're preferring, the depth they're wanting my bait. Not sure if I'll be able to zoom in with the misty conditions we're having. All I'm getting is my rod tip is just slightly, it's not a lot of, there are no thumps. The fish are just not aggressive. And my guess is they're just picking off the injured bait fish is the reason why they're not aggressive. And there's another one. And that feels a little bit better than the last one, but still not, I don't think that's what we're looking for. And a little bit better, but, and again on that old bright jig. So, and guys, I'll say this. This is a great way to figure out what color they're hitting. As you've seen, I got several, just about every jig. I don't have one. I know that that's a 10-inch fish. Let's check the measurement on him. Yep, 10.5, 10 and 3/4, but it's just don't have any height. He's fairly thick for that fish that small, but we'll let him grow up. We'll let him grow up. Although a 10-inch fish is legal. And even though I'll say this too, even though I'm catching these fish at 25, 28 feet deep, I hadn't had any fish struggling with being brought up too fast. So if we get another hit on that red and chartreuse, I may add another jig to it. I'd like to see a couple keepers come on it. That's sort of strange. Here it is, a highly overcast day, misty, foggy, nasty day, and that old bright colored jig is outperforming the other dark colors, and that proves another point. I know that the famous myth is that dark days go dark colors. Just a myth, guys. Use what work. I'll say that a lot. I won't tell you the colors that you need, but you need several. I caught that little better fish there in 25 foot right now, so we're gonna troll this 25-foot shelf and see if we can pick up a few more. And that same rod, still not tremendously big, but a fish nonetheless. Oh, that's a keeper there. Look at here, y'all. And he hit the, there's just these fish are just all over the map right now. Like I was saying, there's just no pattern on color. I was just saying I was gonna tie on and there's another hit, and I missed him. I was gonna say I was gonna tie on another one of those bright chartreuse jigs, and here it is. This one hits brown. But that just goes back to the point that I was saying a while ago, that there's really no set pattern. That fish ought to make 11.5, 12 inches. Oh yeah, 12.25 actually. Nice thick. That one will turn out some decent fillets. All right, 25 foot of water produced 2 keeper fish. So I guess we're gonna hang in the 25 foot of water. One real important thing, guys, is the depth of water and the depth that you got your jigs running. If you get bit over a depth, you want to stay in that depth. One of my viewers gave me a great idea, but the thing is, I changed depths constantly, and he told me to get a magic marker And once I determine the depth, just mark my line. That way I can reel up, won't have to fight with that stream. But by the time I finish a trip, my whole line would be black, or whatever color marker I'd use. So great idea though, because and there's another one, 25 foot of water. That feels like a better fish. And then again, guys, it's like I've been saying, all I'm looking for is that little tickle. There's another 11.5, 12-inch fish, and he hit on orange green. So as you can see, there's still zero pattern on color. So another decent fish. Well, missed another hit. 25 foot of water, guys. So I'm gonna spot lock here until I get this fish taken care of. And again, man, 11 3/4, you're right there at 12 inches. Another thing, guys, now I hear a lot of guys saying, well, you want the fish mouth closed when you measure it. Regardless of open or closed, that top lip don't extend. And if you're gonna measure your fish like this, especially if you're playing with keeping 10 inchers and stuff like that, barely legal fish, put some force on that to where you push that lip down. I know a lot of guys always see me with the mouth open on these fish, but I go from the top lip, and that bottom lip always extends past that top, open or close. So even with a little pressure, it's still a 11, 15, 16 fish. So we're gonna box him. And as I've said, guys, this is a very popular area. You see the crowd is coming. And as you've seen on the 2D when I first got here, there's a good amount of fish here. So even though that there have been probably thousands of fish taken from this area, there's still plenty of fish here. What I'm targeting is the better fish, slow trolling, and right now the 25 foot water has been doing good this morning. So this is where I'm gonna stick, right here on this ledge, 25, and it drops off to 30 out there. So what I'm doing is constantly adjusting my speeds to hold that 2 to 3 mile per hour speed. It felt really, really good to fish without the camera going. Although I'm enjoying the catching, it is an extra challenge to talk about what I have going on. Try to get good shots to show you guys what I got going on. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. And as always, like I always ask, please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And you guys that appreciate the info, please hit that thumbs up for me. I'd really appreciate it. But there's another one, and you'll probably be able to see that little rod tip. That's a smaller fish, but a fish nonetheless. He hit on the dark color bait. One thing that helps me, guys, I know I mentioned this a while ago, and again, Berkley, I'm not sponsored by Berkley in any way, but if you spider rig and vertical jig, that fire line is a very good line to use. It's a braid, and I use the 14-pound test. I think it's 6-pound diameter. The 14-pound test works great.
What on, SK?
Not a whole lot. How y'all doing? Oh, really? I'm trying to make one now. Yeah. I get a lot of people think that I'm crazy. In the boat by myself, holding the conversation. I appreciate it. Having your rods loaded when the fish are biting light is really not a good thing, because if they were thumping the jigs, you'd still be able to detect the bites. Here, they're not thumping the jigs right now. They're just so much bait. As you can see there, no matter the depth that I'm in, there's just a lot of bait down there. And these fish are really not having to work hard. They're just picking off the weak or injured bait fish, so they're not having to attack it. Having your rod loaded, you're gonna miss a lot of those light bites. Oh, I got him. Like a little better fish, maybe. Not putting up much of a fire. Yeah, he might cross that 11, 12, maybe 11 and a half. And it's like I say, guys, determine what works for you. And again, on that old bright jig on this cloudy day. So I don't think he'll make the cut, but let's check him anyway. He's 11 3/4, but we'll let him make it. Should have left the spot lock up. That's a small fish. Feels like a small fish, and it is. Green and orange. Little fish. Yourself? Yourself?
Alright, never met you. I just wanted to say hi because I watched the video.
Oh, really? Cool, appreciate it. Tell you what, before it storms, let me go ahead and get suited up. So I got a feeling that it's coming. Might make the mark. Just might. I don't think so, but we're gonna check him. Make 11 inches, but we're gonna let him make it. I'll let that one make it. Might be a decent one if it's not a catfish or a white bass. I think it's a crappie, and it is. And a nice one. He'll make 11 and a half, 12 inches.